Hi, my name is Adam Avrilla, and I would like to welcome you back to the Design Studio. It is February, it is love, all about love, and today we are going to love the design we make with this beautiful woman. February is all about love. I'm not saying your partner or your spouse, it could be friends, family. Love comes in so many different ways. So if you don't have a special someone in February, doesn't mean you can't do this design full of love, because you should love yourself first. So I'm gonna go through the components. So I had these heart pans, they're baking pans, and they're inexpensive. I got them online, so it wasn't terribly expensive. And so I just color enhanced them, AKA spray painted them with this glitter blast. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I did it inside. This shoots a lot of glitter. Do this outside. Otherwise your whole house is gonna be full of glitter. So get yourself 2 pans, color enhance them with the glitter blast. Gives you a nice little shimmer on there. Then I'm using a ramekin, but you could use whatever you wish, piece of styrofoam, just to put in there, because that's going to give me some support for the one on top. So that way it doesn't fall in on it, it'll sit on there. Okay? So then we have these 2 components ready. Next, the floral foam. You can get this online at the craft store, you can get it at your store where you're getting the bouquet, they'll sell you a brick. And I use a serrated knife, it cuts through the foam perfectly. So I am going to cut right down the middle, because this will give us the exact height we need, right? Because we want this to be flat. And then I'm going to cut it in pieces that fit into the vessels, nice and snug. And then we can go ahead and soak them. So, perfect. Now we have the pieces, soaking them. I put your preservative that you get into the water. I emptied that packet out, stirred it up, dissolved it. And you're gonna take your floral foam and you're just gonna let it sit there and sink down. You're gonna do that to all of the pieces and let it go naturally down. You never wanna pour water over them. You don't wanna push them into the water. You really just want them to absorb water, so that way it can give our fresh flowers all the water they need to live. So we're gonna do that to all the pieces. While that's doing, I'm just gonna clean this up, AKA throw it on the ground. All right, put this one in. All right, let's get the ramekin ready. So for the ramekin, because I don't want the top one to slide at all, I want it to stay pretty sturdy, I'm just gonna take one of our Oasis U-Glue adhesive strips, just one of them, or you can use double-sided tape. That's perfectly fine, but I have these in the studio, so we're gonna use one of these. And I am just gonna put it right on the ramekin. It's nice and sticky. You don't wanna get it wet. And then this, I can put off center and it'll stay in place. So I just have to turn it to the side. Do you see, this was full of water when I started, and now look at it. It is so empty. All of this water has been absorbed into that sponge. We are in the month of love. And when I say that, I know some of you are gonna flip the channel and stop watching because I mean a spouse or a partner. I do not mean that. We're in the month of love. Number 1, you should love yourself, right? Number 2, there's so many people around you to love. And so celebrate love this month. It's not Valentine's Day necessarily. The whole month is about love, so that's why we're doing this double heart, glittered, glamour arrangement. So don't change the channel, love yourself, and let's do it together. First thing I'm going to start with is our biggest flower, which is this gorgeous Queen Anne's. And because we're pave designing this, we want to keep everything cut short so it lays flat. When you're putting items in, follow the curvature because we don't want to lose that heart shape. So follow the curvature around. And it's best to use your biggest flowers first. So that filled up a good chunk of the space. Next, lilies. And we're going to put these in. And I purposely chose lilies that were closed because we spend a lot of time talking about negative space and allowing your product enough room to open. This little bitty bud, honestly, it's probably not going to open. But this one that you can start seeing this orange color coming through, or if we were doing pink or yellow, you start to see the color coming through, that is about to explode. That is about to open. So put this in, making sure all of your insertions are going into that wet foam that we have, but give it a room because this will open up as big as that one. And then I still use the buds because I think they're pretty. And we can put those in right down here for the point of the heart. And we're going to do the same thing with these other ones, giving enough space for them to open. And that way, so I know when this one opens, it's going to be that rounded, and it's going to follow the curvature of the heart. And we don't waste a thing, do we? We use all of the items, all of the flower, because that's what makes it beautiful. All right, we have our lilies in, they're going to open up. Next, we're going to do our Ostromeria, and I am going to cut it so all of the blooms fall off. And we're just going to put these all around, making sure, again, that they're as far into the foam as they can be, because the foam, as it dries out, will dry out from the top. And so if you just put this barely into the top, it's not going to hold its life cycle. Get them pushed into the foam as much as possible. Aren't these colors beautiful with these gold vessels? Love the colors. Next, we're going to do the same thing with the mini carnations. I'm just going to rip these off. And that way I have them there, and I can cut them short, put them all around the design. And if it breaks, you could still put it down in there. It'll still absorb some water, and it'll still keep its life cycle. And when you look down at this arrangement, I want you to notice placement being important. As you can see, these mini carnations are following a path all the way down to the bottom. When you're designing, keep that rhythm going, keep that path movement happening. Next, I'm going to do the same thing with our hypericum. Take the foliages off, pop these in. How beautiful is that? It's like little jewels in there. Super shiny, beautiful. And our stock flowers, cut these down, and if you get a beautiful piece like that, you could even give it one more cut, because you could put these florets under this lily bloom that blocks that space. These can kind of dance up above there a little bit. And I got another gorgeous bloom, so I'm going to take these, put these down in there. And at this point, it's about filling in and making sure all of the mechanics are starting to get covered. And by tomorrow, when you wake up and all these lilies are open, it'll be completely covered anyway. Next are roses. How gorgeous are these roses? Isn't that a beautiful rose? If you want to open them up a little bit more, you could gently just push your finger in between the petals to give it a little open. But to be quite honest with you, with a design like this, because they're cut short and they have water source, these are gonna pop open for you pretty well. And I'm gonna put these relatively close, because then you have these are gonna open up, this is gonna open, those are gonna open. In a day, it's gonna be incredible. I save the foliage to last. A lot of times we'll use the foliage in the beginning because then that creates the armature within the vase and that makes it easier to hold our flowers. But I save this to the end because this is what we're gonna use to go in and fill in and cover up all that foam. So cut the pieces off of your eucalyptus. And then even a piece like this, you can cut again. So now we have two. And just go in and fill in the design. Without losing shape. So now that we have everything covered, how beautiful is that? I don't want to tilt it too much. But this is the perfect I love you to me, I love you to somebody else design for the month of February of love. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you get to do this at home and remember it's all about love, regardless of where it comes from. So remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you next month.